Okay. Do my edges still look good? This is important.
Was that when you say look good? You mean are they laid? Right? Is that what that's what you mean?
Laid and
are they
slayed.
crusty?
Yeah,
No,
I want to make
not,
sure that
they're not crusty. No.
Okay. But particularly this side, because that's the side like, that the camera is.
Look, there's the edge.
Does it still look good?
It's fine. Your edges are fine.
Okay.
Edges are fine. What about mine? Particularly.
Where are your edges?
This side. Particularly. All right, here you go. Welcome to the mental space where we review books, all types of content, and put a psychological spin on it. My name is Chris Rando, certified life coach.
I'm Rah'meka. I thought you were going to introduce me. I'm Rah'meka Patrick, licensed professional counselor.
And we are reviewing chapter 1 of Carol Dweck's Mindset. So we're going to get into it, and Rah'meka's going to tell us why she hates the book.
I don't hate the book. I need everybody to know I don't hate the book, but there's a couple of things that we need to talk about.
A couple of things. So we're going to get into it. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you share. All right, let's get to it.
Definitely.
She's got all the notes. I don't think they're all negative.
I'm not the only one with notes because I see you there with your iPad. So.
Yeah, I got a couple notes.
Yeah, so I'm intrigued. What made you feel so moved by this book when you started reading it?
I've wanted to read this book for a long time. I've heard about it, probably every list that I've seen where people are like, these are the best books to read this year, or these are the best books to read about, whatever your mind is.
Sure.
This book is on the list. Mm-hmm. So I saw it over and over and over, and I was like, okay, let's see what it's about. And I've tried to read it a couple of times, but a lot of times life just gets in the way. So I'm like, I need to get on it. So when we talked about, doing this and reviewing, I was like, we can start with this book. So, yeah, I do. I'm enjoying it so far. She hasn't really said a whole lot as far as really mind-blowing, things just yet. Because I think it's just a lot of introduction in chapter 1 about what mindset is and, or the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset, which I've heard a lot, of.
Right.
So that's just kind of where I am. So,
I think too, coming from education and that constantly being, what's being talked about on the educational scene is, wanting to teach your students how to have that growth mindset over a fixed mindset. So yeah, as a whole, I definitely agree with it. There were some things, some slight details that I didn't particularly agree with. And
okay,
there were
go
some
for
things
it.
that I had questions about.
Let's start. What didn't you like about the book in chapter 1?
Chapter 1 is what
just introducing the concept. No,
chapter 1. So, one of the things that that she had mentioned this question. I thought it was actually a very thought-provoking question. Mm-hmm. What are the consequences of thinking that our mindset can be developed? I thought that was a beautiful way of wording that question. Mm-hmm. And then, I did some reflecting too, and I was thinking if my mindset could be developed, then the possibilities are endless, and I feel that way for everyone. Where I disagreed with her, there was a point in chapter 1 where she said, a fixed mindset creates this urgency to prove yourself over and over again.
Okay.
What do you feel about? How do you feel about that statement?
So when I think about people who I've observed or experienced as wanting to prove themselves, it's very much so I'm proving myself in this moment because this moment and this activity or this thing that we're doing matters a whole lot. So you need to know right now that I am talented, successful, intelligent, whatever. And I think when she says that, it makes me think about people who are like, well, what if this race or if this contest wasn't a thing, would you feel all of those things, successful, talented, intelligent? So it's like they need this marker and trophy to say, look, see, this proves it, and if this isn't here, if we weren't competing, then I wouldn't have this trophy, and then you wouldn't know, so that's why this matters. So I think about it from that perspective.
Well, when I read it, I was thinking, okay, yeah, I mean, because that's true. We could be trying to prove ourselves to other people. But in my mind, I was thinking, well, what if we're trying to prove ourselves to ourselves? Because we are, in fact, our worst critics. So what if it's us? And just from doing counseling, doing therapy with people, I find that a lot of the times, like, it's not someone else, it's them, like the individual that's creating these super high goals that are sometimes unrealistic and unreachable. And, and they're kind of downing themselves when they're not able to reach it. So when she said, you're proving yourself over and over and over again, I'm thinking, one, about that. Like, well, I mean, it's you that's kind of setting the limits. And then secondly, I'm also thinking about, what about the journey on exploring, like, okay, let me try and prove this thing about myself to myself.
Right.
Does that mean that I have like this limited mindset, this fixed mindset? Like, I don't think that's what that says. Like, I don't think that's what it says about me.
I think you don't think that's what it says about you?
Or people in general.
Don't try to go past that. Is it?
I'm really good about trying not to overgeneralize, so I try to speak for myself.
And so is that what you think?
Yeah.
About you?
Yes. And people that I've grown to know intimately, and I've had conversations with them about topics about this stuff. Yeah. Like, I would say that for them as well. Like, this mindset of where I'm going to raise the bar to the next rung. And now I'm going to prove myself again. And I'm going to prove myself again to myself and show myself, hey, I can do this thing. I don't think that speaks to a fixed mindset. I mean, if anything, it's almost, dare I say it, it's almost a growth mindset. Because that person's recognizing, like, hey, I can do bigger than what I'm doing right now. So I didn't really agree with that statement.
So I think it matters what the last accomplishment means to you. Okay? So something I wrote in my notes was about feeling. Like, what is the feeling? What do these events mean?
Okay.
So I think it's possible to continue to do events or whatever the thing that we're talking about. And the idea is either I have to do the next thing or I have to surpass what I did, because now that that's over, it doesn't matter anymore. And I'm only as talented, successful, or intelligent as the latest thing that I'm doing. So if I get this particular score, or if I achieve this, then it's great that I achieved it. But that's only going to last for like another 4 days or a week or whatever. And then after that's over, I got to do something else, because that's old news. And if that's old news, I'm old news. So I think a lot of the explanation or the idea of fixed, mindsets is that the accomplishment is attached to you personally. So if I achieved it, it's good. But again, 3 months later, I haven't achieved anything in 3 months. So it's pretty much like it never happened, because it was so long ago. So now I got to do something else, and I have to be current, and I have to keep achieving because, again, I'm only as good as the last thing I did. Now, that's different than I just want to see what else I can do. I accomplished this. This was good. This matters. You know, it shows I really put the work in and I put in the effort, and this is what I accomplished, and I think that's great. But am I going to stop striving for things or putting in effort towards other things? No. Let's see what else I can do. And the other thing that I do or achieve doesn't connect with me in a sense that if I don't achieve anything else, then I'm trash. I just want to continue to raise the bar or continue to grow and continue to learn and see what happens and see what I can do after I've learned, you know, something else. So I think that is a big part of the idea that there are some people who continue to want to achieve things, but that's because the last thing that they did, essentially they like threw it away. And it doesn't matter, you know, anymore. I was reading a book and it was talking about Buzz Aldrin. After he went to the moon, it was great because he was really trying to get there. And then after that, he went into like a 7-year depression, and he was, you know, got addicted to alcohol because he said, I made it to the moon, literally the highest place that anybody, what else is there to do? So to him, because I physically, literally went to the highest place, everything after this is like a downhill thing for me, and nothing else will be as great as this. So it was one of those things where he kind of, in my opinion, attached that to himself as if everything after this accomplishment doesn't even matter anymore. You know, so I think that is an example of somebody being fixed to where there's so many things you can do now, Mr. Aldrin. Like you can, your mind and your limit or your imagination is really the thing holding, you know, you back. So I think sometimes we have a hard time ending a chapter on something and then starting something new. Because again, we were so connected to that thing. And what if I never achieve anything as great as that? Or what if I don't have the ability to do something after this? You know, so that's what I think the bigger part of that, you know, is. Not that you can't just keep continuing to, you wrote a book, write another book, and write another one, and write another one. But like, when you write it, what does it mean? Is it secretly, you know, you're saying, now I'm good enough. And now I achieved more. Now I'm good enough because I wasn't good enough then because this is better, you know, and now I did. And now I'm good enough. So I think that is the thing. If that's the question.
So that's what she's saying when she's like, oh, you're a fixed mindset person is a person that's always proving themselves over and over and over again. I think it's interesting that we're two different people reading the same text and then pulling something different from it. Because that was kind of not how I read it at all. I was like, wait a minute, there's another way to look at this.
We will continue this train. Thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure you subscribe and share. This is The Mental Space. We review books and content and pop culture and whatever else, you know, we think to bring in here, and we're going to put a, you know, psychological spin on it. So we love it. My name is Chris Randall, certified life coach.
I'm Rah'meka Patrick, licensed professional counselor.
We work for introspective wellness. So if you are looking for help, you can give us a call, leave us a message. The number is 682-273-1848. We would love to help you. So until next time, peace.
Peace.